So we already have our table style set up as per the previous video, and we're still in the 12 underscore tablestyles.dwg file. Now obviously you'll have saved that from the previous video, and obviously you've got that table style saved. We have the default table at the moment. What I'm going to do is just roll back on the wheel and zoom out a little and just pan that across to the top left corner like that. The reason I'm doing that is I now want to insert a new table with my new training table style, and we're going to design a table, and we're actually going to put some information into the title, headers and data cells. So let's have a look at how that works. So I can do this from the home tab if I want to. I can go to annotation here, the annotation panel, and there's the table command there. Or I can go to the annotate tab on the ribbon, go to the tables panel. I need to click on the flyout, you won't need to do that. And there's table there. Click on that command and it'll bring up the insert table dialog box. Now because in the previous video we set our current table style to our training style, you can see the preview has got all our colors and our text and so on. Now we're going to start from an empty table like so. We don't need to start from a data link. That's a little bit more advanced and we'll worry about that some other time. And there's our little preview. Now if you switch that off, it just hides it. And I don't know why you switch the preview on and off. I would rather see what I'm being able to put on the screen. It's a bit of a weird one, that one, but I always leave the preview ticked. And we're going to specify the insertion point of our table, or you can specify a window that you want the table to fill. It may be that you've got a space in your model tab or your layout tab where you want this particular table to go. So what it'll do is it'll size the table to fit the space if you use specify window. I'm just going to specify an insertion point because I'm working in the model space, and the model space is infinite, so it doesn't worry too much about the room that I've got for a table. Now, here's where you design your table. How many columns do you need? Do you need 5? Do you need 6? Do you need 7? I'm going to select 3. I'm going to put 3 columns in, and I want the column width to be 100 for each, like so. Now, in this case, I'm working in a millimeters environment. Obviously, it could be inches, feet, whatever it takes in the model tab, because you do everything full size. But I've deliberately changed the values purely so that you can see the difference between this new table and the default table that's already in the drawing. Now, data rows, I'm going to set that to 5. And the row height, you can have it 1 line, 2 lines, 1.5 lines, it doesn't matter. But then more importantly, here's the really important bit, the cell styles. First row cell style is title. Now I can just have headers if I want to, and the second row cell style can just be data, like that. It may be that you don't need a title on your table. Now I want a title because I want to show you how the table style works. So I'm going to set that to title, like so. Second row will become header again, and then all other cells are the data cells, like so. So now I click on OK, and in my drawing, can you see there's the table? And what I'll do, I'll just hover using the object snaps, use a bit of object snap tracking, just drag that across so it's level with the other one, and click there. Now, as soon as I do that, I go into the text editor. And can you see there's a little cursor there flashing in the title bar? Now, my suggestion is don't worry about editing text when you first place your table in AutoCAD. The reason being is you might be zoomed out like I am, and you can't really see the text at that point. So what you do is just click away from the table like you do with multi-line text, and it places the table into the drawing area. Then zoom in on your table so that you can see what you're doing like that. It's so much easier to do. It's just a little bit of a workflow thing, and you'll find it so much easier that way rather than squinting at a table you've just inserted when you're really zoomed out quite a long way in AutoCAD. Designing the table is nice and easy. So what we're going to do is double click in the title cell, and then you get the text editor tab back up, and you can see the cursor now. It's so much easier, and all of your settings are set up to use the settings from your table style. So what we're going to do is we're going to call this polylines, like so, space dash space, and then areas in capitals like that. Now, if you've used Excel before, you will know that I can now press the tab key on the keyboard and tab to the next cell. So what we're going to do is this will be polyline number. So polyline number in the header there. Tab across, and then we'll have polyline layer. And then tab across again, and we'll also have polyline area, because at the end of the day, it is polylines areas. So there's our 3 headers, and then we can tab into here, and I'm going to put polyline number 1, and then what I'm going to do is use the down arrow on the keyboard, and then there's 2, and you'll notice they're right hand justifying because they're numbers, and then 3, and then 4, like that. Now, I'm not going to put anything in that bottom one, because I'm going to maybe use that as a total. So I might type in there, total area, like that, and then tab that across. Now, you'll notice text always centers. So what I might need to do is double click in here, and then in the editing, I change the justification there in the paragraph panel and set that to middle right instead. And then just hit escape to deselect or click away from the table. Now, these are just bits of text. Your polyline layer and your polyline area, we can actually add field information. So we can go and pick on a polyline and add a piece of information from that polyline into the table cell. And we'll look at that in the next video.